Welcome to Headphone News, Montreal edition for Monday, November 25, 2024.
Community concert supports St. Monica's Church in Montreal. St. Monica's Church in the Notre Dame de Grace neighborhood of Montreal, Quebec, is facing serious financial difficulties due to a 30% drop in attendance and donations. This marks the first financial deficit for the church in 75 years. The decline in support is linked to a bike path installed on Terrebonne Street, which has disrupted local residents. In response, the community organized a benefit concert featuring local artists to raise funds and awareness. Joe Ortona, chair of the English Montreal School Board, attended the concert and expressed concerns about safety issues related to the bike path. A recent accident involving a school bus in front of St. Monica Elementary School raised alarms about these safety concerns. The community continues to push for changes to improve safety and support the church.
Canadian government apologizes for dog slaughter in Nunavik. On November 24, 2024, the Canadian government formally apologized for the slaughter of over 1,000 sled dogs in Nunavik, a region in northern Quebec. This tragic event took place during the 1950s and 1960s and caused deep pain for the Inuit community, who relied on these dogs for hunting and transportation. Peta Atami, president of the McKivick Corporation, discussed the long fight for recognition and healing. The apology was delivered by Minister Gary Anandasangari, who also announced a compensation package of 45 million Canadian dollars, which is about $33.3 million US. This funding aims to support the Inuit community and help revive traditional dog sledding practices.
Cat rescue highlights trapping concerns in British Columbia. A tuxedo cat named Vinny was rescued after suffering serious injuries from a hunting snare in British Columbia, Canada. The British Columbia Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, known as BCSPCA, started a fundraising campaign to cover Vinny's medical expenses, with a goal of $3,450 Canadian dollars, which is about $2,550 United States dollars. The campaign quickly surpassed its target, raising nearly double the amount. The veterinary team is working hard to treat Vinny's injuries, which may require a partial amputation for full recovery. Reports show that incidents of pets caught in traps are on the rise, with 15 cases reported last year, compared to 8 in 2015. The Fur Bearers, a wildlife protection charity, is calling on the government to strengthen regulations to protect pets from traps. As Vinny continues to recover, he will soon be available for adoption.
Coyote attack in Toronto's Liberty Village. A coyote attacked a dog named London in Liberty Village, a neighborhood in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, on November 18, 2024. Around 9 p.m. the dog's owner, Bianca, reported that the coyote suddenly jumped out of the bushes as she approached her home. She managed to push the coyote away and protect her dog. Residents are increasingly worried about the growing number of coyotes and their bold behavior. Local officials have noted a rise in coyote sightings and attacks. From January to October 2024, the City of Toronto received over 200 calls about coyotes, many of which involved attacks on pets. Authorities are urging residents not to feed coyotes to prevent them from becoming too comfortable around people. Community meetings are being held to discuss safety and wildlife management.
Toronto's Santa Claus Parade faces funding challenges. The 120th annual Santa Claus Parade occurred in Toronto, Ontario, on November 24, 2024. Thousands gathered to enjoy the festive floats and marching bands. However, the parade faces significant financial challenges. Organizers need to raise $250,000 to address rising costs and decreased sponsorships. So far, over $136,000 has been raised through a GoFundMe campaign. Mayor Chow and Prime Minister Trudeau have shown their support for the parade, emphasizing its importance to the community and local economy. The future of this beloved tradition now relies on securing additional funding.
Revitalization of Montreal's Empress Theatre. The Empress Theatre in the Notre Dame de Grâce neighborhood of Montreal, Quebec, is set for revitalization after over 30 years of neglect. The City of Montreal plans to sell the historic building for mixed-use development, with hopes to include cultural spaces like a theater or community center. Built in 1927, the Empress Theatre originally hosted burlesque shows and later became known as Cinema Va. Major fire in 1992 led to its closure, and the building has been unused ever since. Community members, including former Empress Cultural Center member Paul, are hopeful that the new development will honor the theater's cultural significance. They stress the importance of preserving the building's history for the community. Dinu Bumbaru from Heritage Montreal emphasizes the need for a developer who respects the community's wishes and the building's heritage. The city plans to carefully evaluate potential buyers to ensure the development aligns with community interests. Filmmaker Scott, who has nostalgic ties to the theater, notes mixed feelings among residents. Some are optimistic about the future, while others remain skeptical due to past broken promises regarding the theater's restoration. The revitalization of the Empress Theatre offers a significant opportunity for cultural renewal in Notre Dame de Grâce, potentially benefiting local businesses and encouraging community engagement.
Renaissance Quebec celebrates 30 years of community service. Renaissance Quebec marks 30 years of making a positive impact in the community. This nonprofit organization processes 30,000 tons of donations each year and employs 1,500 people. It helps 3,000 individuals find jobs through a successful training program. Customers appreciate shopping at Renaissance for quality items at affordable prices. CEO Eric Street Arnaud highlights the importance of community support and sustainability. Last year, 1.7 million people donated to Renaissance, with expectations for even more donations in 2024. The organization continues to lead in the thrift shopping sector.
North Vancouver residents oppose highway changes. Residents of North Vancouver, British Columbia, are voicing strong opposition to a proposal to reconfigure Mountain Highway. The plan would change the current traffic setup from 2 lanes southbound and 1 lane northbound to a single lane in each direction. Cheryl Atchison, a local organizer, is leading a petition against these changes, raising concerns that even minor incidents could cause significant traffic congestion and safety issues. Many believe the existing 2-lane southbound configuration is more effective. This proposal aims to enhance safety and mobility along the highway, which has a high rate of accidents involving pedestrians and cyclists. A council meeting is coming up soon to discuss the proposal, which could greatly affect daily commuters and the local community.
Canada Post strike disrupts lives of foreign nationals in Vancouver. A strike by Canada Post workers is causing major delays for foreign nationals in Vancouver, British Columbia. The strike, which started on November 15, 2024, involves over 55,000 postal workers. Many foreign nationals are waiting for crucial documents like passports and work visas. Stella, a Chinese national, traveled to Vancouver on November 13 to renew her U.S. work visa but has been stuck for nearly 2 weeks. Daily expenses are over $100 for accommodation and food. Others, including Haoyuan, worry about losing their jobs in the United States due to these delays. This strike emphasizes the impact of labor disputes on public services and the difficulties faced by those relying on timely postal services.
Investigation into suspected arson at Verdun convenience store. Montreal police are investigating a suspected arson at a convenience store on Bannatyne Street near Riverview Street in Verdun, a borough of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. The fire was reported around 3 a.m. on Saturday. As a precaution, the surrounding neighborhood was evacuated. Fortunately, no injuries were reported, and the damage to the building was minor. An incendiary object was found at the scene, prompting the case to be transferred to a special investigation unit for further examination. By Sunday, the store's windows had been boarded up, and damaged shelving units and displays were cleared from the front. The motive behind the suspected arson remains unclear, and further investigation is needed to understand the circumstances of this incident. This event raises safety concerns in the Verdun community, which has faced various crime-related issues in the past.
Investigation reveals avian flu impact on seals in Quebec. An investigation in Quebec has raised significant concerns about the H5N1 avian flu virus affecting seals. In 2022, 209 seals were reported dead or sick in the St. Lawrence River. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention found that infected bird carcasses likely contributed to the spread of the virus among seals. Experts warn that marine mammals could carry the virus and undergo mutations, potentially posing risks to humans. Recently, avian influenza was detected at poultry farms in Montréal, Quebec. The first confirmed human case of H5N1 in Canada was reported in British Columbia. Experts recommend caution but emphasize that there is no need for panic at this time.
Tragic shooting of teen in Manitoba. A 17-year-old boy named Elgin Muskego was shot by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Norway House Cree Nation, Manitoba, Canada. This incident took place early on November 24, 2024, when police responded to a call about a teenager who was reportedly agitated and armed. Reports suggest that Muskego did not comply with police demands to drop the weapon. His grandparents expressed profound sadness and disbelief regarding the use of lethal force. The community is filled with anger and frustration, believing that police could have handled the situation differently. An investigation is currently underway to look into the details surrounding the shooting. This tragic event underscores the urgent need for accountability and brings attention to the systemic issues faced by Indigenous communities in Canada.
Toronto Maple Leafs defeat Utah Hockey Club. On November 24, 2024, the Toronto Maple Leafs secured a 3-2 victory over the Utah Hockey Club at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Canada. This game marked the first ever matchup between the two teams. Mitch Marner was instrumental in the win, scoring 2 goals during a strong second period that helped extend the Maple Leafs' winning streak to 4 games. William Nylander also added to the score, netting his 14th goal of the season. The Utah Hockey Club came into this game after ending a 3-game losing streak with a win against the Pittsburgh Penguins the previous day. The Maple Leafs played without their captain, Austin Matthews, who is sidelined with an upper body injury. This victory sets the Maple Leafs up well as they look ahead to upcoming games against the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Pro-Palestinian rallies in Ottawa lead to arrests. Pro-Palestinian rallies in Ottawa, Ontario, have led to several arrests over the past week. The Ottawa Police Service reported 2 arrests during a demonstration on November 25. One woman was charged with assaulting an officer after failing to follow police orders, while a man was arrested for interfering with the protest. This arrest prompted a gathering outside the police headquarters the next day, where organizer Sarah Abdul Karim was also taken into custody while speaking to a journalist. Abdul Karim mentioned that the protests have been ongoing weekly for over 400 days without any previous issues. The police confirmed the arrest of a 29-year-old woman connected to a demonstration on November 18, where 4 individuals were arrested for obstructing traffic and other offenses. Authorities emphasized the need to balance community safety with the right to protest, acknowledging concerns from community members regarding the recent arrests.
Police shooting incident in Winnipeg. On November 25, 2024, a police shooting took place in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. A man allegedly stabbed a police officer in the throat, prompting officers to shoot him. The man later died at the hospital, while the injured officer is in stable condition and expected to recover. Acting Police Chief Stannard urged the public to wait for a complete investigation by the Independent Investigation Unit before forming opinions. This incident raises significant questions about police use of force and community safety.
That is all the news for today. Thank you for listening to today's Headphone News. News summary brought to you by AI.